All right, hey YouTube. Thought I'd do a real quick video. Well, hopefully it'll be kind of quick, but I can ramble sometimes. Just on the idea, I guess, of weapon lights and lights in general. Uh, Especially as civilians, if you carry firearms or just going about your day-to-day life, light is very important. Uh, Most humans can't see in the dark. Uh, if you have night vision, that's not a fair advantage. You're not using human ability to see in the dark anymore. I have to look at that round again. But, uh, sorry, I'm getting a little off. But as civilians and concerned citizens, where we carry firearms to protect ourselves and those we love and care about, it is extremely important for us to positively identify a target and potential threat. If the gun is being used, before the gun is introduced, when the gun is introduced, and before the trigger is pressed. That's why I carry on all of my guns that I plan to use for uh, personal protection or anything like that. Everything from my ARs to my handguns. I don't consider it done or ready for use until I have a weapon light on there. Currently, all of my guns do have weapon lights on them, except for that I use for defense, except for my shotgun, and that's just because that's a little bit more involved is not the right word, but it's the word I got, so it's the word I'm going with. To get it set up than these guns were, or my ARs. Um, so I just haven't had the time and funds to get that one set up the way I want it for what I think will work best for me and how I use the shotgun. That being said, that gun is home defense only, and even at that, it's very limited in not in application, because it's a gun. Application is pretty much application, but in my willingness to use it, I guess would be a good way to put it. Uh, I much rather would grab. I would much rather grab either one of my handguns here or one of my ARs to use over that shotgun for a couple of reasons, but especially because I have lights on them. I can illuminate what I need to see before I point a gun at it. Um, Another thing to talk about is a handheld light. Just because you have a light on your gun doesn't mean you shouldn't carry a good handheld light. I'm not talking about a $3 cheapo thing. I'm talking about a good, well-built weapon light. It doesn't have to be a Surefire. It doesn't have to be a Stream light. It can be an O light or something like that, so long as it's actually made well. Don't be scraping the bottom of the barrel for weapon lights and everyday carry lights, price wise and things like that, trying to save a couple of bucks on something that could potentially save your life. Just the fact of having, that's low, but on high, that light to put out in a situation can potentially diffuse a situation before it ever becomes one. Most criminals don't like light because anything that brings attention is bad when you're breaking the law. Imagine that. Um, that being said, I do like Surefires. I do like LZs. I do like Streamlights. I run a Streamlight on that AR, and my M&P. They all have Streamlights. This is my Surefire that I carry on me every day. I just ordered a Pelican, so I had a spare everyday carry light. I keep Streamlight Stylish Pros with med kits, all that kind of stuff. I'm a huge proponent of light. I'm also a huge proponent of stocking batteries. So this one here is rechargeable, so I make sure I have the charging cable with the kit for this gun. I set up kits for all my stuff so that I can grab and go if I need it, or if I'm traveling or whatever like that. I can throw that kit in the back of the truck, and I have what I need to keep the guns up and running. Should things go prolonged, or say I forgot to charge the light before I left, or something like that, spare batteries for these kind of lights, that kind of thing. And just some general setup things to keep them up and running. But it's extremely important that if you're going to have a light, you have batteries for it, and good batteries. With this stuff, you do not want to cheap out. Um, I'm not saying don't look for the best deal. What I'm saying is don't be driven so much by the price that you buy something that is inferior quality. If it's good quality, I don't care what it costs. I have stream lights that cost 20 bucks and I love them. I haven't been able to kill them. I've literally flooded them, dried them, and they work still. It was a $20 light. I have knives that are like that. This O light right here, I paid like 40 bucks shipped for. I still haven't been able to kill it. I don't use it super hard, but it's got probably about 500 rounds on it right now with this gun. It works just fine. I've charged it like 3 times, and everything works well on it. Uh, it's not it's not going to be as tough as a Streamlight. It's not going to be as tough as a Surefire, but for especially the use of this particular firearm, it's perfect. It's an everyday carry light. It's a deep concealment setup, so it's nice and small and compact. The whole thing hides really well on my body, but it still gives me enough light. I'll show you over here, and a nice spread that in the house I can see. And yeah, that's with the light on, but you get an idea of how bright this is. Um, yeah, again, you don't need a light this big to carry. It's just what works for me. I have big hands. I'm a big dude, so I tend to carry big stuff. It works for me. But you do need to have a good light. I would recommend that you have something at least 100 lumens. The reason I say at least 100 lumens is that's going to give you a good bit of throw, a good bit of spill in a lot of common use scenarios where you can see. That's the whole point of having a light, is to be able to see, identify things. I tend to go a little bit above and beyond, so my lowest lumen output light is like 200 lumens. Works for me. I'm a flashaholic. I like it. Just get yourself a good light. Train with all your gear. Make sure you're good to go. So if you ever need it, it's there for you. Take good care of it. I abuse the crap out of my gear, but I clean it, I oil it, I keep fresh batteries in there, I keep the lenses clean on the flashlights, like this one. You can see that. It's a little dirty. Not bad. I keep everything wiped off and cleaned so that when I need it, if I ever need it, it works. Now, EDC lights, you use those all the time. I constantly find myself reaching for a light, even if it's not in a dark area. That's why I like this one so much, because it comes on at low first. And that's a good bit of light. It helps illuminate a little area. Makes it, I'll show you down here, a little bit of a darker area. Makes it a little bit easier to read things and see things. And then if I need to push it up, I tap it again and it goes to high. But the low is plenty of light. Like the other day I heard my truck making a weird noise. So as soon as I stopped, I just hopped out, popped the hood, turned that light on. That's plenty of light. I could see my entire engine bay using that to make sure that there wasn't anything leaking or broken or anything like that. So having a good light on you is useful for more than self-defense. That's why I recommend having handheld lights as well as weapon-mounted lights. Because if you have a handheld light, you can walk around, you got your handheld light, you're looking around, okay, that's not weird. You go into your car at night, let me light up this walkway and make sure I'm not going to step on anything or get jumped or anything like that. Good to go. I know it's going to be controversial for a lot of people, the idea of carrying a weapon light on your person at all times. I think, quite honestly, it is lazy and stupid to not. I know that's harsh. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I consider it lazy and stupid because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know when you're going to need these weapons. So you don't know. You could be like, oh, I'm just going to the store. I'll be back in 30 minutes. And something happens, and you get back. Before you get back, it turns dark. Now what? Because once you light it up and you can see, okay, bad guy, I need my gun. Once the gun comes out, I like to be able to put both hands on the gun. Now, there are ways to use it with this. I've done those before, all that kind of stuff. But I like having it on the gun. Another reason I like having it on the gun is there was a situation when I was working one of my jobs. We got a phone call from one of the guy's sisters that someone was trying to break in her house. And so the cops had already been called, stuff like that. We got there just to check on everything before the cops would have rolled up. And we started looking, and I reach for my handheld light as I'm checking under their deck by this dried out, what used to be a lake behind their house. My light's gone. It had fallen out of my pocket when I was working my other job as a security guard, and it was gone. I never saw that light again. Still haven't seen that light again. and I didn't have a weapon light on this exact handgun. The very next, yeah, actually the very next day, I ordered a holster and a weapon light for this gun. The weapon light that was on here, I no longer have. I gave that to a buddy. I upgraded to this one. But I like redundancy. The saying is two is one, one is none, and three is better. I love it. So I carry redundancies for just about everything. If it's not on my person, it's in my vehicle or a nearby bag or something like that, so that I have redundancies. But on my person, I always have at least two actual lights in my handheld or weapon light. I do think that as a armed citizen, it is your responsibility to take these things into consideration. And if you think I'm stupid because I carry a weapon light, more power to you. These videos are to help people think through scenarios, help people just getting started to have well thought out ideas of why they're doing things, or help them figure out what questions they need to ask when they're talking to people that know more about this stuff, so that they can do the best that they can do to be responsible for themselves. That is the point, in my mind, of being a prepper, of being a gun owner, of being a caring, loving individual, is to be responsible for yourself and your people. I take care of me and mine. That's just the way it is. I don't expect anybody else to ever come through and help out. I don't expect the government to be there. I don't expect the church to be there. I count on my family, both blood and not, and myself. My God and my Creator made me strong, and He gave me the ability to do a lot. So I take personal responsibility for everything. I'm personally responsible for my own security. If I have friends and family with me, I take responsibility for keeping them safe. I take that down to the nth degree. I carry medical supplies to keep them safe. I carry weapons, I carry lights, even just general tools, which is like knives, stuff like that. That's why I carry all of that. It's not because it's cool. It's not, even though it is, I like it. It's enjoyable. It's also a hobby for me, but I take it very seriously and being prepared and ready to defend those that I care about in my own life. So that's the whole point of all these videos I put out. I share my philosophies, my ideas, my reasonings behind things to try to help people think things through and come up with good ideas. I say all that just to say this. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't watch the video. Get off. Go away. Like, and I'm not saying like you disagree. If you disagree, put it in the comment sections. I want to hear why you disagree, because I can be wrong and I want to learn as well. So if you think that I'm thinking about something that's in a video wrong, or I haven't thought about something, put it in a comment. I would love to see that. But if you're going to be nasty and rude because nobody cares about your opinion, we just come to see what a... Don't click on a video that's entitled philosophy or idea, because you're wasting your time. You're wasting my time, quite honestly, because I check my messages whenever I get them. I don't get many comments, so I do try to keep up with them. And when I check in and see something like that, that's a waste of my time. I can be doing something else. Taking care of somebody who has an actual question, being there for my friends, family, whatever. I'm not saying that to be arrogant or rude. I'm saying that because it's not just me that you're affecting. You do it to other people's channels, all that kind of stuff. It's not worth it. If you want to have an actual dialogue, I'll dialogue with anybody. Even if you think that I shouldn't own these guns, I'll dialogue with you. I want to hear your ideas and your point of view and all that kind of stuff, and why you feel the way that you do, because I know why I feel the way that I do about having this gear and using it and carrying it and all that kind of stuff. But the more I can learn, the more I can grow. And there are sides to arguments that I want to understand, even if I don't agree. So anyways, this video got a lot longer than I wanted it to, but that's my ramblings about weapon lights, personal responsibility, and all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section down below. And be easy, guys. Stay safe.